Hi, everybody. As Mike said, I'm Alan Williams. I was a fellow last year working with Parks and Public Lands in Northeast Ohio.
And I'm Ryan Branciforte, the CEO of Trailhead Labs. We're a 2014 accelerator company.
And we're here to talk about OpenTrails, which is a new open data format for the outdoors. What we're really going to talk about is sort of a practical implementation of what we've been talking about all afternoon. OpenTrails helps us navigate the outdoors with the same confidence and assurances that open data currently affords us in the urban environment. Parks are really amazing, not just as beautiful places, of course, but they're amazing as governments. Their mission is a dual mission. They are dedicated to the enjoyment of people and to the conservation of the world for the enjoyment of future generations. I think it's worth noting how radical this vision of government is. It's a government dedicated to our enjoyment. And when we created the first parks in the late 19th century, that was a real, true civic innovation. And it's one that spread and scaled across the country to all 50 states and to cities and regions everywhere. And the result is a really unique culture. Parks can't compel us to enjoy ourselves. Instead, they care deeply about the citizen experience. They invest continually in creating a positive experience for people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds. And they have developed an instantly recognizable design tradition in that process that can be seen in signage and installations, in architecture, in exhibits, and of course in maps. Beautiful maps. Maps that are at the center of the agency's relationship with their visitors. It is through maps that they are able to share content about science, about wildlife, about the world, about safety and adventure and fun, all of these things. Maps are central. Maps are the foundation of trust that governments build with citizens, and maps are built with data.
And the way people find and use maps these days has changed dramatically. In the online experience where people are looking for park and trail information, a lot of times it's locked up in static PDF maps and images. So as a result, they're not getting the information that they need in order to get outside and have a wonderful, positive experience. So what we need to do is we need to work with park agencies. We need to help them transform their information into new formats that are open, accessible, and ultimately searchable on the web.
It's a real problem when your first interaction with citizens isn't good online. And so we've created, with a tremendous community of people, OpenTrails to address exactly that. That's an emoji of Lizzie Diamond, by the way. OpenTrails is an open data format designed to serve a key use case, to help governments communicate with their visitors online. It's open data in service of the citizen experience. And it's been developed by a tremendous community of partners and participants from around the country, including the technology vendors that parks rely on every day, the trade associations that they look to for best practices, the consumer technology products that their visitors already use, and of course, key members of the community like Trailhead Labs and members of the OpenStreetMap community, Trust for Public Land, and others. But of course, the most important members of this community are the citizens and the governments themselves. And so that's why after we came to a version 1.0 of the specification in July, we worked hand in hand with governments, a dozen of them from across the country, to actually convert their data to OpenTrails, to go beyond just the specification itself and into the workflows that actually meet the realities of daily work inside the park agencies.
And so we're following a pattern of success, one trailblazed by Google and TriMet up in Portland when they developed GTFS, an open data standard for transit information, now adopted by over 700 agencies all around the world. So millions of people have access to current transit information every single day. Now, this is what we're doing with OpenTrails. We're following this vision, and this is the goal for OpenTrails. And one other thing that GTFS taught us was that with a clear use case and a well-thought-out open data standard, that a whole ecosystem of technologists and companies and organizations will build incredible applications around that data standard and ultimately make it a lot more affordable and cheaper for park agencies and transit agencies to build really great applications. And the most important thing here is that it'll standardize the experience. So no matter where people are getting access to the information, it'll be current, it'll be accurate, and it'll facilitate wonderful outdoor trips.
But of course, a standard is only as strong as its community. And that's why the OpenTrails community is dedicated to open source, it's dedicated to ever-improving documentation, and it's dedicated to being accessible and inclusive of all members of this community and of the park and conservation community. So we want to encourage you to adopt OpenTrails, to go online to opentraildata.org to see the apps and tools that are available and the projects that are currently under development. Thank you very much. A community is waiting.